What's up, all my seeing steppers? And you're tuning into Progressing on Purpose with Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Faye. I'm an author, entrepreneur. I'm a TV host and intuitive transitional coach for my company, ISN, y'all. And it's a new month. It's a new year, y'all. I hope y'all having a great week. Happy Black History Month. Thank y'all for tuning in. And since it's a new month, then we're going to go ahead and get into this month's seeing topic. Okay, so for this month's seeing topic, the topic for this month will be pain. And pain, it stands for progress aligning in now. Okay, so progress aligning in now. So I want y'all to share your stories, testimonies, your questions, advice about how your pain progressed you into purpose and how your pain work together for your good. Okay, so share your stories, share your testimonies of what you went through on this journey, the pain you may have endured, okay, and how did it work together for you? Okay, so send your written submissions to submissions@gmail.com. Okay, so we're going to get into a written submission that I have here, and this is from Mr. Dr. Charles. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and read his submission. Okay, all right, so he was saying here, one second. Okay, so he says 13 years ago, I lost my sight due to retinitis pigmentosa. Okay, I hope I said that right. In the aftermath, I was overwhelmed by doubt, uncertain if I would ever return to work or live independently again. Not only did I struggle with self-doubt, but society also questioned my capabilities. However, I refused to surrender to those doubts or become reliant on disability benefits. Instead, I embarked on an educational journey that transformed my life. I earned a specialized associate degree in paralegal studies and legal administration, dual bachelor's degree in crime scene investigation and homeland security, and triple master's degree in criminal justice administration, okay, cybersecurity, forensic science, as well as a doctor's degree in business administration, okay. And today he is a proud owner of Divine Visions Consulting and Paralegal Services, where he provides legal and business consulting services. Okay, he leads a movement, Blind But Not Broken, which empowers individuals with visual disabilities to embrace their strengths and defy limitations. Okay, and Dr. Charles, I just want to say I love how you push past your adversities. Okay, like you are literally the definition of taking lemons and turning into lemonade. Okay, like I love how despite of you losing your sight, losing your vision, you didn't let your spiritual vision lose sight either. Okay, you ain't let that lose sight, because we can have those things and we can get discouraged, but I really believe that you're going to help so many other people to embrace and still choose to move forward regardless of what life has thrown their way. So I commend you. Keep doing your thing, keep progressing on purpose, and yeah, empower those people out there. Okay, all right, y'all, we have one more submission. Give me 1 second. Okay, we have Pepper from Mississippi. Okay, and he says, my mission is to help fathers or anyone responsible for a family fulfill the command from Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22, that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Okay, and I believe that trading offers the best opportunity to do that. Okay, doubt is the biggest hurdles that new and struggling traders have to overcome. In fact, in his book, he calls doubt and discouragement the twin killers of traders. There's even a chapter that deals directly with this from the Bible, as it says that sin that so easily ensnares us, okay, is running rapid, doubt, all that. As Paul writes, that will make you do crazy things as a trader. None more crazy than quitting right when you're about to turn a corner. Ooh, Oh, I can say so much on that, but so he said sometimes we as men feel isolated and alone when it comes to this topic. Like we are supposed to have all the answers, and if we're not immune to doubt, then we are somehow weak. Pepper, I love your submission. Let me just say, like, I know you was talking about trading when you said that doubt will make you do crazy things as a trader. It will make you quit right when you're about to turn a corner. And y'all, like, that's exactly how it is on this journey, on your purpose journey, where you're pursuing purpose. People will get to that point where they can literally, like, your next could be right around the corner. Like, the next step you take, the next choice you make can literally lead right to your breakthrough. And some people end up quitting before then. Like I know y'all remember the picture that was on social media. It was like the man, like he was mining or something. He was like mining the dirt, and he had stopped. And when he had stopped, like literally the diamond was on the other side. And the other guy, he kept going and he reached the treasure, he reached the diamond. So that's literally the same thing that you're saying. And I love how you share that. And definitely with men, definitely need a space more to talk about things like this. So I appreciate you sharing your concerns, sharing your wisdom, and feeling open to share that with me on this platform. So shout out to you, Pepper. Okay. So y'all submit y'all written submissions. Okay. So for this topic this month is for pain, progress, alignment, and now. Let us know how your pain progressed you on purpose. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into our guest interview. We're going to go ahead and introduce him and get him on the scene. All right. So we have a guest today. His name is Omari. We're going to go ahead and connect him. And y'all give me 1 second. Let's go ahead and get Omari on the call. Okay. Y'all, so welcome to Progressing on Purpose with Afrovibes TV. I'm your host, Faye, and we have a very special guest with us today. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. Hi, Faye. My name is Omari Harabin. I am a coach, a speaker, and the author of The Corporate Dropout, and I'm excited to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you, Omari. And are you having a good week so far?
Yeah, I'm having a great week.
Okay, that's great to hear. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this interview. So I seen when you said that our stories are our greatest asset, and let me just say that's definitely what I believe, and that's definitely what stems from this show, Progressing on Purpose, is us sharing our stories, our wisdom, and any questions to show other people that's on this purpose journey that they're not alone and they're not misunderstood. Okay. So I love how you mentioned that our stories are our greatest assets, because I definitely believe in telling your story can help free other people. So what does telling your story, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, I think first, before it freed anybody else, it served to free me
Mm-hmm.
of myself, because when you have to like put your story into a book or into a package or format for other people, you got to spend time with yourself and you have to unpack experiences and emotions that you probably wouldn't otherwise. And so that experience alone, I think, is transformative because it forces you to reflect. And whenever you're reflecting, you're gonna see something that hopefully benefits you.
Yeah, and even the bad, when we reflect, people can deal with stuff that they don't want to unpack, but
Yep.
that's the process that you have to go through. Even those things that you don't want to face, you also have to face those things as well. So when before you were doing this, like before where you are now, what was life for you before you decided to make that shift in your life?
Yeah, so I made the shift to becoming a corporate dropout a decade ago.
Mm,
So this has been my lifestyle for a while now. But
mm,
before that, I was working full time as an engineer.
mm,
Um, and I'd gone to school for engineering, and that was like, what I was expected to do. It's what I was doing.
yeah.
Um, and I was a bachelor. I was newly married, so that's where I was. And then I had a crisis. I had a DUI, and then I found out that I was going to become a dad at the same time. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to start thinking differently. I had to start thinking into the future in terms of like, okay, like who do I want to be, and who do I want to show up for my children. And so that's what prompted me to make some changes at that point.
Yes, you really you definitely answer like my next question, because I definitely was going to ask you what led you to make that change, but I see how you said like life circumstances, the stuff that came up in your life pressed you to make those
Yeah.
choices, and that's usually how it goes when,
Mhm.
especially on this journey, when you like answer your calling, when you're wanting to have something more in life, it's usually like something that happens that kind of just like awakens you and pushes you to that point. So how was it handling that transition when you were, transferring from the corporate and going to, being your own boss, and then even dealing with like becoming a father and then experiencing
Mhm.
the DUI? Like how did all those things, how did you handle it?
I think I was lucky in the sense that I was always doing something on the side. So I always had some sort of side hustle from
Mm-hmm.
when I was in school to college to working in corporate America. So for me, it was like, okay, this is my opportunity to go all in on a part of me that I had just been putting on the side.
Yeah.
So I was making a bet on a part of myself that had been hidden, a part of myself that hadn't been exposed. And so it was a big bet, but I figured that it would have to pay off because the only other thing I could bet on was a version of me that wasn't. So
Yes.
I say I was lucky because I had that foundation, but at the same time, it was still hard. It was
Mm-hmm.
very difficult. It was not, I did not have one of those, 6 months, $100,000 in sales experiences. Like that was not my coming out the
Like they
gate.
always be talking about on social
E-
media.
Exactly. So it took me years,
Yeah.
and that's what I talk about in this book is just years of like toil and trying things and failing, but really confronting yourself each time because you're being transformed, and every conflict that you run into, it serves to further test you and try you and develop you so that you can actually become something, not just say
Yes,
something, you know?
exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes, and I'm so glad because you were literally saying everything that's going into my next point. So I know you was talking about how like the conflicts and everything. So for this month's seeing topic on our show, Progressing on Purpose, the topic is pain, and that stands for progress, aligning, and now. So can
Mhm.
you tell me how the pain that you experienced, how did that progress you into your purpose, and how did that work together for your good?
Yeah. So I felt alone in my pain, right? And so in that aloneness, I captured everything that I could. So whenever I was going through a crisis, whenever things weren't looking up, whenever it was looking down, I looked down at a piece of paper and a pen, and I just wrote. I wrote what I felt, what was going on. And I knew that having that captured, that later on I'd be able to develop it. And that's exactly what I did because in developing it, I realized that I might have been alone at like then,
Mm-hmm.
but I was never alone because what I was experiencing, millions of people experienced before me,
Mm-hmm.
after me. And if I stay alone in my pain, if I hide it, if I keep it tucked away, then it serves no purpose. So,
Exactly.
so to align the purpose with the pain, I had to capture it, I had to develop it, and then expose it. And that's my whole formula right there.
Yes, definitely. Because I think so many people they want to kind of like tuck that away. I know like when we deal with stuff like in the world can literally like change us and like make us to somebody, who we originally wasn't supposed to be. But just because all the trials and different things that this world throws at us, it kind of, make us go down another path. So I love how you said that, because like I said, like this is exactly what this show is for, is to show people that you're not alone. Like you may feel like you're misunderstood, but there's other people that could have went through the same thing that you went through, or that understands what you're going through. So, the devil, he might just want you to hide all that and keep it in, and oh no, nobody's going to get you or understand you. But like people need to hear that, because it's
Mm-hmm.
not only just for you. Yes, it's to free you as well, and that's the most important part, number one. But number two, you could also free somebody else. Like it's somebody else that's connected to your story, or that can relate to your story, that might not have made it out from what you
Mm-hmm.
made it out of. So it's very important to share that. So I love how you said that you wrote everything down, because I wrote too. When I first moved here to Houston, I was writing poetry, and then those poems end up turning into a book, and
Mm.
and it started like that was my first book when I moved here. So like everything you write down, I believe in writing stuff down because it's going to come up later, and you really get to see like your journey, and like everything comes together so beautifully. So I love how you said that you did that. So the next question I want to ask you for it's called insightful quotes. So I asked our guests what's like a quote, a scripture, a mantra. It could be a dream, a vision, like a moment in time, that anything that happened for you that you held on to in your journey that helped you to endure that journey. Did you have anything like that for you?
Yeah, I love that question. Yeah, I had a mantra very early, and it was the same thing that you think you need, give it up, and that same thing sets you free. And that's a
Mm,
metaphor for life. And
yeah.
every time I reach one of those transition points, it was a challenge of, are you willing to let go of something in order to attain another thing? So
Mm,
that's
yeah.
that's what I live by.
Yeah, that's no, that's a good point, because a lot of people they hold on to the old, and on this journey, like you gotta let go of your past life. And that's like a lot of times why we feel that isolation and that being misunderstood, because when you're going on this journey, you're literally like leaving your old life behind and stepping into something new. So that's why you feel misunderstood, because the people around you, they may not be on that same journey, and you may feel
Yeah.
alone because God didn't, you're not around those people yet, your tribe, people that actually understands what you're talking about. So I love that. So with with you navigating your personal transformation, so how did that look like for you? Did you get the support from like family, friends? Like was there people like talking down on you, or like how you gonna do that? How was it like with support from like the people
Yeah.
around
It was interesting. My mom and my wife were my pillars,
you? Mm-hmm.
but they also didn't see what I saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they saw me in the present at the time, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah.
we trust that you know what you're doing, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it doesn't look like you know what you're doing.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
so I had to endure that. But they held me down because I had to move back to my mom's old house
Mm-hmm.
and house that I grew up with. So she gave me a second new beginning there, you know what I'm saying? And then my wife, she never, she never folded on me.
Yeah.
So I always give her credit on that. And then, but outside of that, though, you know, I was going through spiritual transformation at the same time. It all goes together. And
Everything.
so the spiritual family that I had been a part of, I
Mm-hmm.
was no longer fit. I no longer fit the picture.
Yeah.
Um, and I was no longer obviously in the corporate world. So there was this, all right, I don't belong corporate. I don't belong in this religious institution. Like like
So
where
just
am I?
like me.
I'm gonna
That's
have to
why
just
I
belong to myself. So then I started
yeah.
belonging to myself, and once I belonged to myself,
Yeah.
then I found a way. And
I love that.
the beautiful thing though is it still comes back full circle.
Mm-hmm.
So the same the same people that I left, or the same communities that I left, I could return to now,
Yeah.
right? And and it's love.
Yeah.
because it's just a part of the story. It's just how it's got to go. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not the I say I'm the narrator, but I'm not really the narrator. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, God narrates the story,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a way of doing it that goes beyond our own imagination.
Yeah.
So, I didn't mean to go on that tangent, but that's
No, that was good.
the way to
That was
do
good. That's exactly why I started, because I was like, so many things you were saying, I was like, dang, I felt the same way too. Like, so it was like I definitely understood where you were saying, because I dealt with the same thing where I was going through my transformation, my transition, where I felt like I didn't fit in with this world, but I also didn't fit in like with the church, with like the religion and the religious. Like I didn't fit in that as well. So it's like God just led me to literally be on my own path, pave my own way, not be
it.
boxed in, because I feel like I'm so much outside of the box, because God didn't really call me to the church, but like to the people outside of the church who felt like, they couldn't really go to God, because you know how like religion, a lot of people are like judgmental, and then
Mm-hmm.
people are like, oh no, I don't want to do this. Like, they just so then they go the other way, but it's like that's driving people away. So like my mantra, like since you shared yours, I literally always say like walk your own journey and walk it with God, and that's
Mm-hmm.
literally what I did. And I'm here
Mm-hmm.
now, like recording my own show, interviewing guests, getting their story, helping people to tell their stories, and helping people to connect through stories, so we can all show each other that we're not alone. So I love that you shared that, Omari, and I feel like it's really so much more that we could talk about. I really want to have you on here longer and have you for like a part 2 interview, because you
Yeah, I'll
really
come
said
back.
some you said some great things, definitely, for sure. But before we do go, can you let the people know where they can follow you on Instagram?
Sure, you can follow me at Omari Harriban. Hopefully, you got a link to it.
Mhm.
And it's omariharriban.com, Omari Harriban, wherever they got a place for people to be on the internet, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
myself.
So on all platforms, Amari Harris.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So y'all heard it here. Y'all can go ahead and follow him on all platforms at that. Y'all can go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Follow the official Instagram page for Progressing on Purpose. It is at Progressing on Purpose. Okay, so I just created the page. Make sure y'all give that a follow. Okay, and we're gonna have you back on, because I enjoyed you and I enjoyed your talk, and we really have more to talk about. But thank you so much for sharing your story, Amari. I
Thank
definitely
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and this is Progressing on Purpose, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and make sure y'all tune in next week to go in and see who our guests will be next week. And thank y'all for tuning in. Welcome our guests, and y'all have a great week.